once, now I'm on the other side, and it turns out to not have been two lines, but one line that goes around twice. Let's see what we've got. It's completely whoa. I mean, this is totally magical to me that there's these two loops, and they're linked together, and they're not even the same size, and they're, like, made of flavored sugar gunk. But let's understand what's going on. You can do it with paper, too. I cut out a strip, twist, and tape. Now I'm coloring the edge of one demonstration that the strip only has one edge, and so that we can keep track of it. Because when we cut a strip into thirds, you can also think of it like this. You're cutting the edge off. This leaves a thinner Mobius strip and a long looping edge. Because of the twist, the edge loops around the body of the Mobius strip, so the two are linked. Really though, you should just try it yourself. After making a Mobius strip and ripping it into thirds, I poked a leftover bit of fruit by the foot, waiting to be inspired. I don't know, it's spirally? I opened up another package so I'd have more to play with. Bam! Whoa, it's got this pattern on it. I mean, I don't remember this at all about fruit by the foot, but then again, it's not like I've had one in the past, like, 15 years. And last time I had a fruit by the foot, I wouldn't have recognized
I'm listening to Vi talk about
pattern that repeats in one dimension. I mean, repeating patterns are good because they have a rolling stamp that just kind of presses this pattern into it, but it's got other symmetry too. The two halves of this pattern are exactly the same, but not the same as in mirror symmetry going the long way, but it does have mirror symmetry going the short way, plus this point of 180-degree rotational symmetry, which basically means if you turn the strip of fruit roll up around, the pattern is the same. But it's neat that it does this in two tessellating halves, so you can flip it around and fold it in half and everything. Okay, so I opened the last of my fruits by the foot, hoping for another freeze pattern, but it's the same as the last one, so I make a normal non-Mobius loop, and then I make a couple more and decide to put them together in a Borromean configuration. The Borromean rings are this arrangement of 3 loops that you see sometimes, and they're linked in such a way that no 2 loops are actually linked with each other. I mean, if you look at just 2 of the 3, they're not linked. If you undid any one loop, the other 2 would also be separated. Yet the 3 together are stuck. I tightened the loops up because they form this nice wrappy cube, and then I decided to try taking off the paper, but it was tricky because everything's sticky and linky, so it didn't turn out so well. So since I'm labeling things, I labeled the Mobius strip part. And that reminds me that the freeze patterns and Mobius strips are related. At least this particular freeze pattern has, as a result of...
Whatever. We'll turn it off. Well, if you look under Vi Mathematics, Vi Hart is her name. She's really, really funny. I haven't listened to her in a long while. I'm going to be right back. I need some water. I have coffee here that is not functioning for me. I have returned. I sometimes like to listen to science fiction radio stories in the background as I doodled on my YouTube videos. It was kind of fun to have me just doodle rockets and crazy things. X minus, was it called X minus 10? X minus 1.
Countdown for a blast off. X minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, X minus 1.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, X minus 1. Fire! From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, Mars is Heaven. When the first space rocket lands on Mars, what will we find? Only the ruins of a dead and deserted planet? Or will there be life? Intelligent life in some strange form that we can only imagine. Will we be welcomed with open arms, or will the Martians treat us as invaders? Only one thing is certain. Someday, a giant metal ship will take off from Earth to travel through the black velocities, the silent gulfs of space, to descend at last into the darkness of the upper Martian atmospheres. And on that day, man will finally know the answers. The day we first land
On Mars!
Now hear this. Now hear this. Approaching critical deceleration. Fasten gravity suits. Stand by to land.
There it is. We've intersected the course vector, sir. All right, Mr. Lustig. Over to manual control. Aye, sir. Masters, sound general quarters.
Aye, sir.
What do you make of the terrain? It seems to be a heavy ground, Miss Captain. We won't be able to use the infrared lights, and we'll have to come in on radar. Isn't that a little risky, sir? Landing in the dark? I'd rather run the danger of a blind landing, Lieutenant, than come in without the cover of darkness. Remember, we don't know what kind of reception is waiting for us down there.
Airspeed 500.
Maybe they can see in the dark, Captain.
4,000.
Bridge to engine room. Stand by for deceleration. Fire forward tubes 1 and 3.
Hello.
Steady as she goes, Mr. Lustig. As she goes, sir.
Airspeed 100. Altitude 1,000.
Radar indicates a level stretch dead ahead, sir. Skids down.
Skids down.
Altitude 500. 4. 350.
With the skids.
3.
Up a point now. All right. Let's set her down.
Doesn't sound like a very smooth landing. Oh, look, we made it.
Masters, flight battle stations. I said, all secured, sir.
Here's the,
Well,
they just landed.
Gentlemen, we're now on Mars, April 20th, 1987, 4:33 Greenwich time. Enter that in the log, Masters. I see. Well, gentlemen, it's less than 2 hours till dawn. As soon as it's light, we'll send out a landing party. Masters, get me an all-over hookup. We're all set, Captain. Now, hear this. All right, man.
What's going to happen?
Well, we're on Mars. The
Planet
first
Orf.
manned ship from Earth to land here. We don't know what we're going to find or what dangers we may face. We're 17 men on an alien world, and it's up to us whether we ever get home again. The next few hours should tell the story, and I want instant obedience to all commands. I'll court-martial the first man who doesn't come through when he's ordered. And one other thing. We may be on Mars, but this is still a United States naval vessel. Officers
Navy?
can conduct a personal and weapons inspection in an hour.
You have to put an anchor coming down then.
Captain. Now? Mr. Lustig, we've got an hour and a half to sweat out before we find out what's outside that airlock.
There's the anchor.
I'd rather have a man worried about his stripes than about what's waiting outside on Mars.
Add more rivets.
Now hear this. Landing party report to forward airlock. Captain Black, Lieutenant Hingston, Lieutenant Lustig, and Dr. Horst report immediately to forward airlock. It's now landing time -5.
Well, they're paging us. You ready, Dr. Horst?
Yes, Mr. Lustig. As ready as I will ever be.
Come on, let's get in the lock.
Hingston, Lustig, and Horst reporting in the airlock.
Very well, so the captain will join you.
4 minutes to go.
It's kind of cozy in here,
What difference
Captain.
does it make?
I just want to get it over with, that's all. Anybody got a cigarette?
Yeah, I think you're smoking too much, Lieutenant Lustig. Are you nervous? I offer you, Horst. Wondering what's hidden outside underneath that ground mist? I've
mist,
been giving it
ground
some
mist.
thought. It'll be very interesting to find out. A very unusual planet, Mars.
Why?
It has an atmosphere. A wonderful thing, an atmosphere. Where you find one, you find life.
You mean Martians?
You
What do
know,
you think they'll look like?
Who knows? Intelligent life can take many forms.
You mean they may have green skins and eyes on stalks or something?
The comic book conception is possible, of course. Or they may have developed far beyond us. Perhaps they have a science that can produce weapons far more dangerous than our atomic missiles.
You think we may have to fight our way out?
After all, we are invaders.
Now hear this. Landing time -2.
All right, we heard this. You know what I'd like to find outside that airlock? Good old Illinois.
a dame. I want to find a dame.
Only Chicago. Well, you ought to see my hometown. Green lawns, big white houses. Sounds like my hometown. My grandmother used to have one of those iron deer on the lawn. Every Halloween, we'd paint another color. One time, we painted it black and white like a Holstein cow. Where does your family live, Dr. Horst?
I have no family. When I was a child, they were gassed to death in the Dachau concentration camp.
Aww.
Oh, it has its advantages. I have no ties on Earth. Nothing to lose now. I imagine I'm the only one on board who is free to enjoy our present peculiar position.
All right, Masters, you can button it up now.
You can button it up. Button it up.
Well, gentlemen, check your sidearms. In 1 minute, we'll be the first men to set foot on Mars. Quite an honor, eh?
As long as the medals are not rewarded posthumously.
Still uneasy, Dr. Horst?
Captain Black, I've been uneasy ever since I can remember. On Earth and on Mars.
Ever since I was in Dachau.
Give me the intercom phone, Lustig. Yes, sir. Masters,
Aye, sir.
battle stations are to be manned till we return. If we're not back in 2 hours, I want no rescue party sent out. Blast off and save the ship, you understand?
Aye, sir.
All right. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lustig, open the outer airlock. Aye, sir.
It's opening up.
It's fresh air.
It's fresh air. Walking down the ladder.
Now, take it easy.
Take it easy.
It's too dark to move fast.
Quiet, isn't it? Not even a wind. Can't see anything from this ground this time.
We don't know what's out here. All right, come on.
Come on.
What the quiet? Captain, I could swear that sounds like a rooster.
A
I
rooster?
don't hear it anymore.
Very homely but unlikely sound. A rooster crowing on Mars?
Higston, aye, sir. Set that machine gun 25 yards to the flank. We'll stay here till the ground mist lifts.
Aye, sir.
That's the
What do you
rooster.
make of the ground, Horse?
Grass. Plain grass. You can see some large foliage there where the mist's thinned out.
What the? Higston, hold your fire, you fool! I hear it, Captain. What? Some kind of wild animal. I hit it. I could see the traces, but it's still standing.
Come on, Horst.
It's a deer painted like a cow.
Wait for us. All right, Captain. An iron deer.
A lawn ornament.
Well, that's impossible.
Hollow. Interesting, isn't it? A whitewashed Victorian iron deer sitting on a lawn in the middle of Mars.
I don't understand.
Look around. The mist's lifting.
Hey, Captain, look there. It's a house, a regular old-fashioned house.
But, sir, on Mars. Good Lord.
There's the cow.
I haven't seen carved scrolls and gingerbread like that in years. Look at that port swing. The geraniums.
There. I told you it was a rooster, Captain.
Give me the glasses, Lustig. I want to take a look through that front window. Well, there's an upright piano. Some sheet music on it.
An upright piano.
It's beautiful Ohio. Oh, it can't be, sir. Horst, do you think that civilization of 2 planets could be identical?
I don't know. That specific variety of geraniums is only 50 years old on Earth.
Is it logical that they should develop in Mars? How about that port swing and the piano and beautiful Ohio? Why, it's impossible.
Captain Black, this looks like the town I was born in.
Well, it looks like my hometown, too.
I thought of something, sir. It's the only solution.
We're dead.
Maybe we're not the first ship to reach Mars from Earth.
Don't be ridiculous, Lustig.
Oh, how else can you explain it? Suppose some scientists got together. They invented some spaceship and planted a colony here. That's the only answer.
That's impossible, Lustig. Been space travel, it couldn't be secret. Do you have any idea what ships cost, what industrial power is needed? No, there's got to be some logical reason.
I think perhaps we might find out, Captain. The light just went on in that house.
Kingston, cover that door. With the
It's
machine.
Grandma. It's Grandma.
We're going to ring that doorbell. There's got to be a scientific answer to all this.
And there's something moving in there.
Stand back, Horst. Give me a clear shot.
Shoot
You
it.
sure a bullet can stop a Martian?
Steady now.
Can I help you?
Grandma.
Well, we...
If you're selling anything, it's much too early.
No, wait just a minute. What town is this?
What do you mean? Are you census takers?
No. We're strangers here. We want to know how this town got here.
Is this a game?
No, it's not a game. We're from Earth.
From where?
From Earth.
Do you mean out of the ground? Are you sure you're feeling well?
Madam, we came in a flying ship across space. We're from the 3rd planet, Earth. This is Mars. Now do you understand? Mars.
You go away now, you hear? I'll call my husband from upstairs and he'll chase you. Go on.
But this
Go
is
on.
Mars, isn't it?
This is Green Lake, Wisconsin, in the United States.
Green
of
Lake,
America.
Wisconsin.
Bounded on the east by the Atlantic and on the west by the Pacific. Now go away. Goodbye.
Horst, do you suppose it's really possible? I've got to find out more about this.
There she is.
I told you I'd call my husband. Now
I'm going to call my
Tell me
husband.
one thing first. What year is this?
Year? 1928, of course. For goodness sake.
You hear that, Horst? And we know it's 1987, and we know this is Mars. Horst, is it possible that we got fouled up, made some tremendous blunder, circled around, and landed back on Earth?
In 1928?
Well, maybe some switch in time or dimension.
Could we have shifted
Time and
somehow,
dimension.
gone backward in time? Oh, Horst, this won't hold water. It's not logical. We checked every mile. We went past the moon, out into space. We're on Mars.
Here's the
Lustig out
moon.
point. Hingston in the rear.
There's the
Keep
Earth.
that gun at half load. I said. First, there's got to be some cold, logical solution.
Captain!
What?
That house down the street, the white one with the green shutters.
Lustig, what's the matter?
I never thought of. Thank God!
Lustig! Lustig, come back here!
Running for that house.
That crazy fool, after him quick! Lustig, stop! Come down off of that porch!
Grandpa!
Lustig, what the devil do you think you're doing?
Albert!
Grandma.
Grandma.
Lustig, what is going on here?
Albert, it's been so many years.
How you've grown, boy.
It's so good to see.
Lieutenant Lustig!
Captain, Grandma, I want you to meet my friends. This is Captain Black. Captain, I want you to meet my grandfather. Howdy. Any friend of Albert's is a friend of ours. How long have you been here, Grandma?
Oh, a good many years, ever since we died.
Ever since you what?
Oh, yes, sir. They've been dead 30 years.
What?
Oh, now don't you trouble yourself. It's all right. We're alive again, that's all.
You mean to tell me that Mars is heaven?
Oh, nonsense, no. All we know is here we're alive again. And who are we to question God's infinite ways?
Lustig, we're going back to the ship.
Captain, I want to talk to my grandfather.
Lieutenant Lustig, I don't like any part of this. You'll come back with us if I have to club you and carry you.
I see.
Now let's go. Heaven only knows what they've run up against back at the ship.
Oh no! What's gonna happen?
First, look at that crowd around the ship.
Looks like we're being welcomed with a celebration, Captain.
Celebration, we've abandoned ship. Every port is open. No guard set. You, master.
Hiya, Captain. Meet my old dad. Dad, that's Captain Black. He's not a bad guy for no.
Hingston.
What's it?
Bring that band back. Use force if you have to.
Excuse me, sir. There's my Uncle George.
Hingston.
I'll be right back, Captain. Uncle George.
What the devil is going on here?
Understand, sir. They've all found friends and relatives. They're all here. You're right, Captain. I found it. The whole crew's out in the crowd.
But I gave orders. Cabinet orders.
You don't understand, Captain.
I understand mutiny. I don't care how many relatives show up. I'll have discipline.
Johnny! Johnny, you old son of a gun!
It's you, Edward.
Yes!
It can't be.
Oh, of course it is! Johnny,
Ed.
you old...
Ed, Dr. Horst, this is my brother, Edward.
How do you do? Hello, sir.
It's wonderful to see you, Edward. Look, I've got to get back to my ship.
Oh, Johnny, wait. I almost forgot. Mom's waiting at home.
Mom?
Yeah, and Dad, too.
Mom and Dad are alive? Then you're real, Ed.
Well, of course. Don't I feel real? How's that, huh?
Why, Ed!
We've got lunch for you, Johnny. Mom's making corn fritters.
Dr. Horst, haven't you found anybody?
No, Captain. I have nobody.
Well, then you come on home with me, right, Ed?
Why, sure.
Horst, you wouldn't believe it, but it's been 35 years since I had Mom's corn fritters. By George, 35 years.
Uh-oh.
And there's plenty more in the kitchen, so don't hold back, Johnny. You too, Dr. Horace.
I think they're
Still in the Navy, eh?
That's right, Dad.
doughy
Command of the ship.
We're an old Navy
fried
family,
thing.
Dr. Horst. All three of our boys in the service.
Yeah, Ed was the best pilot in the Pacific, too. What did happen, Ed?
What's the difference?
The Japs got me.
Yeah, but
You know, it's almost perfect. All we're missing is your brother Will. Then the whole family could be together.
well, it won't be long, Mom. Will's in charge of the XR-54. Next rocket coming out to Mars.
Well, little Will. When does he leave, Johnny?
Well, the takeoff's scheduled for September, but it depends on what we report.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question about that now, huh?
No.
Christmas together again. That'll be something.
Sure will, yes, sirree. Well, this calls for a celebration. How about a little of the old dandelion wine, eh, Johnny?
Now, Father, don't you go giving Johnny too much wine.
He's a big boy now, Mother. Well, sir, isn't everything just fine? Just fine.
Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Won't you be my melancholy baby? Huddle up and...
Well, Dr. Horst, what are you doing sitting over here alone? What do you think of my little family?
Very nice.
You know, I can't understand why you didn't find any folks here, Dr. Horst. It's just a shame everybody else is so happy.
Well, I never remembered my family, Mrs. Black. All I know is they were gassed at Dachau during the Second World War. When I was liberated, I was in delirium 3 months. I cannot remember anything before then. A psychiatric phenomena.
That's terrible. Isn't there anything anybody can do?
I don't want to remember. I have not had a pleasant life. I prefer to be free of emotional attachments. They interfere with a scientific approach.
I'm sorry.
Here as I little on each tear.
I'll get it. That's our ring, long and 3 shorts. I remember that.
Well, maybe we'd better call it a night. You must be getting tired, Johnny.
I'd better be going back to the ship.
Nonsense. You stay the night. We insist.
I just couldn't rest thinking of you all alone on that ship.
I'll be all right. Well, good night.
Oh, wait a minute, Dr. Horst. That phone message was for you.
Me?
Yes, that's right. A message from Anna.
Anna? I don't...
Well, there, she must be an old friend. Isn't that nice?
I don't... You sure it was for me? I don't remember any Anna.
Well, she asked if you were better.
Perhaps she's someone who knew you at Dachau.
Anna?
She said she's coming over here first thing in the morning. So you'll have to stay over.
Yes,
Well,
but...
that settles it then. You stay here, Horst. You can bunk with me in my old room.
Yeah, but Johnny, we thought you'd like to be with Edward.
So you could talk the way you used to.
Well, we can't put Dr. Horst on the daybed. I think we'd better share the room tonight. Be plenty of time for talking, Ed.
Yes, I guess so.
I suppose I better drop back to the ship. You know, Ed, security check.
But why do you have to do that here?
I don't know, Mom. There's no good reason, I guess. Well, suppose we skip it tonight, eh? Well, good night, everybody.
Oh, it's good to have you home, Johnny.
It's good to be home, Mom.
Do, 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 do.
Captain Black, huh? You asleep?
No, I've been thinking about what we were expecting. Green-skinned Martians. All the time there was only Mom and Dad and Edward waiting. That's funny what tricks your imagination can play on you. Well, I guess Mars is heaven, Horst.
You know, I've been thinking about Martians, too. Captain, just suppose there were Martians, and they saw us land, and suppose they thought of us as invaders. What would be the best weapon they could use against our atom bombs, huh?
I don't see what you're getting at.
They would want to disarm us first, huh? To wipe out all suspicion, to make us feel at home. Captain, suppose this house isn't real. Suppose the people are just images, stolen from our own memories by Martians, created for us by telepathy, hypnotism.
Oh, that's the craziest theory I ever heard.
Maybe that's why there was no one for me, because in all my life there is no happy memory, no real loved person, not even my mother. I don't remember her, only the piles of rotting corpses at Dachau. There was no happy emotion for these people to recreate.
How about that phone call? Anna?
Yes, Anna. I didn't remember who she was, but I do now. I just remembered. When I was freed from Dachau, sick, delirious, I raved about a wonderful, kind nurse named Anna that took care of me.
Well, there you are. It's logical. She's coming to see you tomorrow.
But there was no Anna. I'd been nursed by a man. Anna was
A man?
And there's only one way they could have learned about her, by reading my subconscious mind.
That's impossible, Horst.
Why? The whole crew was thinking of home. Suppose the Martians read our minds.
Yes, but if there are Martians...
If there are, they have us separated. Each man in a different house, sleeping, trusting. No one at the guns.
I left my pistol downstairs.
Uh-oh.
Do you think there's something to this, Horst?
There has to be.
Perfect trap, Captain. Who would suspect his own mother, his grandparents? How easy. Just a knife in the heart of each sleeping man.
Knife.
That's impossible, Horst. But we've got to get back to the ship. Listen, the crickets have stopped.
No.
Come on.
No.
We don't know when they change back to
whatever
they really are.
hideous things they really are. Clean.
Where are you going, John?
Ed, we wanted a drink of water. That's all, Ed.
You're not thirsty, John. You don't want a drink.
Look out!
You don't want a
His
drink.
face! It's changing! He's a mouse! Run, Horst! Run!
You can't get away, John.
This way, Horst! Horst!
This way.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, Earth? This is Captain John Black, the XR-53 calling from Mars. I've locked myself in the ship, but they've crippled it. I can't take off or fire the guns, and they're coming for me now, the Martians. I'm all alone here. All the rest are dead. Hinkston, Lustig, Dr. Horst. Poor Horst, he didn't even reach the door. Listen! They're trying to break through the hull. Edward and Mom and Dad and all the folks, but they're changing now. They're melting and changing back into... They're Martians. Can you understand? Martians, not men. They make us think that Mars was heaven and we fell into the trap. Can you hear me, Earth? You've got to stop the next rocket. Listen, tell my brother Will. Tell my brother not to come. They'll trap him too. They'll kill them all. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me, Earth? This is John Black on Mars. Hello, Earth. This is John Black on Mars. Hello, Earth. Hello, Earth.
Done. Corn fritters. Hello. How are you? Did a drawing with Sally and Patrick Facemeyer on sort of a shared YouTube thing. And that was fun. And now I was just broadcasting live here and listening and illustrating a science fiction radio drama for my fans.
There's a book here, The Fruit Hunters.
Yeah.
Look very interesting. So it's over on my desk. I may read it.
Okay.
I'm looking for it. That's where it is.
Okay. No, I brought it up from downstairs. It was one of books that someone wanted me to send him for his.
Do that.
No, I don't need it. He's forgotten all about it. And there were other books. The one about chocolate. And there was one about birds of Costa Rica or something. I forget.
Chocolate one I have upstairs.
Was that good?
Very good, yeah.
Oh, good. I think I'll give that to, if you don't want it, give that to Wendy.
Yeah.
Who loves chocolate. If you don't need it. No, I can't remember what the other one was.
There's one on tea.
Tea.
I have that. I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
A lot of these food things are from Mark.
Yeah, I'm sure. What's making that noise? You or the cat?
Me.
You. Another radio mystery.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire.
Hey. Rasky, I'm listening to old 1950s radio science fiction stories and illustrating them. This one was called Mars is Heaven. Yes, my thumbnail. I listen to these radio things on YouTube. X -1. Well, I don't remember these radio things from my youth. I'm not as old as your father, but I do like them. Rasky, do you have a pen like this? The thin metal wall pens? Seems to me you ought to get one. They're so thin. Seems to me that you would find them interesting because of their very simple shape. I guess that's the only one I've got here. Oops. Yeah, I know. I know your proclivities, but I also see you have modern Parkers and things like that. Well, the Skyliner is one that you should have in your collection, certainly. You have a 51, I'm sure. And you probably have a 45. You just fixed a 51. I didn't really fix it. I have to find my vacuumatic wrench, which is somewhere in my house, but I have no idea where. It's not in the spot where it's supposed to be. I don't know what a 25 is. You need a 50, you need a 41. Ugh. Yeah, it's difficult. What you have to do is there's the thread. You unscrew this, and then there's a wrench that clamps on a threaded wrench that clamps onto this, and then you unscrew this. Oh, okay. Good fountain pen for a beginner. Parker Schiavello has a partner who has 4,000 pens. we are told. You need a special sack as well as a special wrench. Now you could probably get by, maybe, if you're really lucky, you could wrap very carefully the threads, the threaded part, with maybe lots of plumbing tape, and then get some sort of pliers that has a really small concave thing, and then unscrew it that way. But that is something that may what might it do? Parker was made in Janesville, Wisconsin. Are they made in India now? Plumber's tape. Well, it might work. I don't know. Let me don't go away. Let me just see if I can. I'm going to look for my vacuumatic pliers for 1 second. Kitty. Eddie, out of the way. My God, I found them. I found them. Lasky. Lasky, are you here? This is an official Parker wrench. So this is a Parker wrench, and this is they come in two sizes. This is the size that would work on a 51, I think, and a Vacuumatic. So let me just see for a second whether I have one I can try to fix. Don't go away. Okay. Here are two 51s. Let me see if I can unscrew any of these for you. Check the Wacom. No, this was made for the Parker Pen Company. So you screw the threads into the threaded end here. And when you tighten this, see they clamp down. So anyway, so here you put this in, and then you unscrew it. And this one is broken. And that's often what happens. This is supposed to have Okay. They might be. So anyway, you pull, there's what was supposed to come out along with that are two other parts. And this one is not coming out. There's a little collar that's been glued in there. So I'll soak this and see if I can take it apart. Let's try this one. Vacuumatics also have a couple of different filling systems. Some are metal. This one has a metal threads rather than plastic threads, so the part that's inside the pen is also metal, which means it's probably really corroded. Oh, fuck. Okay, let me try another one. I'll be right back. I haven't looked at these 51s in ever. The fact that these have not been fixed probably means that that I was unable to get them apart at one point. Okay, so this one. Okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is one piece that you would get from Parker back in the days when, if I were a pen repairman in the 60s, I would be provided with these things fully assembled. And I mean, fully put together. And it's made of a little plunger, this little threaded thing, this little metal collar, and a spring. And then this little cup that has a hole in it. Except this hole is much bigger than the real hole. So when you get one, when you take one out, you're going to have what's left over of the sack. And the sacks that these are made of look like this. And there's this little teat. We'll call it a tit, a little teat on the end of this thing. And inside of that little teat is supposed to be a little ball, which when I was sold these sacks from the Penset company, they neglected to include the little balls. So none of these have the little ball, but I've got a bunch of little balls somewhere. So imagine this thing has a little ball in there. And let's say you got out the old little ball without cracking this thing. You would very carefully place this thing over the hole, and then you use a little wooden dowel that you push down, and what you do is you push the little ball into that hole, and then that will be connected. Then comes the fun part. God, it's just a nightmare. You cut this down a little bit, and then you have to peel this back. And you peel it over itself and onto this collar. Well, the sacks, when you buy a sack, the special sack, you have to have a sack that looks like this, that's shaped like that, with a little nipple, and it comes with a ball. For some reason, the ones that were shipped to me, I emailed them and I said, I don't have any balls. And they said, oh. And so they sent me all of the balls. So this is what you end up doing. Here's your plunger. Here's your collar. Here's the thready thingy. Ignore that. Come on, where's the collar? I just had it here. You ignore this, you ignore that. You hold it this way, and you have this thing sticking out that way. Shit. So here's this little collar with the little ball, and the sack looks like this. Then you have to trim this off a little bit, but anyway, then you pull this back equally on all sides while you're holding it all together. You peel this back. I mean, some people do this in advance. It's like putting your socks inside out. No, it was not meant. None of these pens were ever meant to be fixed by the user. You would bring them to the pen shop, and they would put it in a regular sack. So anyway, you twist this thing around, and some people do that in advance. Oh, look at this. I actually kind of did it. And then you eventually pull it back, inching it down. Maybe if you put talcum on it, it'll work better. And eventually you get it up to and over the neck of this thing, not to the raised area, but just to the raised area. The raised area is still there. Here's the tapered part, and the rubber sack goes right up to there. Then, once you get that done, you go to your pen and you get out the old sack that's in there, like that. And then you make sure that there's no sack there. Because this thing, this collar, the inside of the inside of the barrel is tapered. There's threads where the threading goes. there's a little thing here where the collar goes, and there's a little tapered area here. So this thing seats up against that, but this has to be airtight. So this slightly tapered inside holds the rubber sack, wedged in place by this cone. And then you screw it all together, and then you put the blind cap back on, and chances are it won't match up. So you unscrew it and you rotate it maybe until you hear it engaged at the next level of threading, and then you screw it back in. Sometimes you screw it in too much, and you might unscrew it a little bit. I mean, it's pretty well machined, so it's really not gonna screw in. But sometimes, you know, if I took this one, maybe slightly threaded different, it's really tight, so I don't think it wants to even go in this one. So that's what your Vacuumatic is like, unless it's one of these. Well, you said it was a plastic one, so that's good. Did I put both my 51s in here that I was trying to fix? A good way to get this thing out if it's caught is to take this out and shove something up the front end. Yeah, it's not easy, and you know, you might want to just send it out to get fixed, because these things, you really need something that will, you know, grab onto the entire threading and apply sort of equal pressure, because you don't want to, you know, break the threads or cause the threads to deform. But again, if you were to wrap just the threaded part that you see with you know, 10 layers of plumbing tape and maybe get up pliers, you might be able to unscrew it. Or you just buy one of these from the link that Bob is going to show you. Do I have a place I can put this in my house? I just added another slanted top desk to my setup here, and slant does not work with this. With that box. Do you have the Vacuumatic sack yet? You need Vacuumatic sacks. Okay, well, order 5 at least. If I knew where the sacks were that work. I have a bunch of sacks that are really gummy and they don't work. And I have a bag full of little balls. But it's really getting out that little ball from the little cup that is tough, because the cup is made of plastic and it's rather brittle. And if you chip off too much, you might be able to glue the thing in with maybe epoxy. Glue the ball and what's left of the cup in. again, sending it out to be repaired is not a bad idea. I realize it would bother you. Well, all plastics can disintegrate and get old and brittle and shrink and expand. And, you know, I don't think these pens were meant to necessarily last forever. And certainly Parker thought they probably were going to be in business. And everyone would want to have a 51 repaired, so they could easily just squirt out another 5,000 of those things. They weren't meant to be repaired like we have to do. You would get one of these things that was fully, actually, from Parker would send them to you with the rubber sack on it. You know, it was all you had to do is unscrew the old one, throw it away, plop in a new one. So they weren't meant to be repaired the way we have to do it now. I'm getting hungry as well, and so I'm going to try to put my little pens back in order. And Wasky, it was nice seeing you. Nice seeing all of you. Nello and Mighty Mouse and whoever else is watching. But I'm gonna call it a day. So I turn into a pumpkin really early these days. I get up at 3 in the morning and I'm in bed at 8. So I'm no fun anymore. Was I ever fun? Write your answers below. Was Pierre Gustafson ever fun? Okay, now where's my pen to turn off this? This is the pen that is probably the most valuable for me, is the pen that I use to work on my Wacom tablet here. And it's, as you can tell, black. And when it falls onto the ground, it disappears essentially into the void, into the black hole that is my house. So thank you, Bob. I do like what I do here, and I can sometimes be fun. So thank you. Okay, bye. See you later. End stream. End.